In this video, we're talking about how to draw the nets of pyramids. And remember that a net is basically the shape of the two-dimensional piece of paper that you'd have to fold up to create this three-dimensional object, in this case, a pyramid. So for the first example, we're going to be drawing the net for a square pyramid. Well, when we talk about pyramids or when we name pyramids, when we say a square pyramid or a triangular pyramid, this first word always represents the shape of the base of the pyramid. So you can always start with that shape. So when we say square pyramid, we know right away we can start with a square. So let's go ahead and just start with a square, and we'll draw roughly a square like this. And then when it comes to drawing the lateral faces of a pyramid, basically what we need to know is that we're going to have to connect an edge of our pyramid to every edge of the base. So every edge of the base here is going to be connected to the edge of our pyramid. So if we start with the top edge here of the base, we need to connect this to a lateral edge. Well, because we're talking about a pyramid, all of the lateral faces are going to be triangular. So we could just go ahead and draw a triangle like this coming off of this base, and this would be one face or one side of our pyramid. And then we just want to go ahead and draw the same face on all edges of the base. So maybe something like this. We would have the other face, this face on the right here. We'd have the lateral face on the bottom, and then the lateral face on the left. And the idea here, when we think about this as a net, is that we're going to fold up all four of these sides. So we have the base here. This is the base. It's going to sit on the bottom, on the ground. And then what we're going to do is fold up all four of these sides. We're going to fold them all in toward the base like this, and what they're going to do is at this top point, at the point of each triangle here, they're going to connect and form the top or the vertex of the pyramid. So let's do another example here. We're talking about a triangular pyramid, which means we can start with a triangle. This means that the base of the pyramid is going to be a triangle. So if we just start with this as the base, and then we go ahead and say that this is the base of our pyramid. Again, remember that the lateral faces of the pyramid are always going to be triangular, so all we have to do then is draw a triangle coming off of each edge, base edge of the base of the pyramid. So we're just going to draw triangles like this, and sometimes your lateral faces are going to be different sizes if the pyramid is slanted instead of regular, but we're just trying to draw an example of a net for a square pyramid, a triangular pyramid, so we don't necessarily have to make the lateral faces different sizes. So this would be an example of a triangular pyramid. Again, we'll fold up these three lateral faces to form the sides of the pyramid. And then if we're going to do a pentagonal pyramid, again, we start with the base as a pentagon, so we want to go ahead and draw a pentagon, maybe something like this. So if we draw the pentagon, and then we're going to draw the sides of the pyramid. Again, it's always going to be triangles, so we can go ahead and draw triangles off of each base edge here. And what we end up with is the net for a pentagonal pyramid, because all five of these lateral faces are going to fold up to form the sides of the pyramid, and when we connect them all at the top, we get the vertex of the pyramid. So again, here this is a pentagonal pyramid where the base of the pyramid is a pentagon, and then of course, because there are five sides to the base, there are five lateral faces of the pyramid.